In my video about the director's take, I mentioned that next season we're getting both tank and DPS passive healing, similar to supports but marginally less to make it more balanced. Obviously, if it was like supports, fights would go on for much longer and people would constantly keep retreating to get back to full health, so having it slower is generally better. I also briefly mentioned that Junker Queen might come into meta because of how she can heal herself already. Her mitigation, much like maugas, comes from self-healing abilities like knife and axe, because causing bleed to enemies stabilizes her in fights where supports can't. In this video, I'm gonna talk a bit more in depth about this because if it does stack with the new passive healing next season, she's gonna be very strong. I'll get into that in a minute, but first I'm gonna ask you to subscribe and leave a like on this video, as I want to continue making Overwatch 2 related content that's not only entertaining, but educational too. So, numbers time. It's important to know the exact statistics so we can get a general idea of how things are going to be next season. Supports heal 15 HP per second after being out of combat for 1.5 seconds. Now, we don't know how DPS and tank self-healing is going to be different from support self-healing. So for the sake of having a stat, I'm just going to say it's 8 HP per 1 second. Half of 15 and then just round it up. I think that's fairly reasonable. Now, Junker Queen's melee and knife cause 15 damage of bleed for around 1.5 to 2 seconds, healing Junker Queen for the same amount. So if we say that this will be the start of the regeneration period, throwing the knife from a distance so we can avoid properly getting into combat, over the span of 3 seconds, we're looking at healing roughly around 46 HP, which is actually a fair amount of health to gain passively. Now remember, this is a very rough estimate because we don't know the exact numbers for the tank passive healing. We also don't know if it will stack, but that's a whole other thing. The only problem is how will she fare against the current meta. We've exited Mauga meta and now we're back in horse meta. Junker Queen versus Arisa is absolutely miserable, but it's not impossible. It just requires some good communication with your teammates. I think Lifeweaver and Junker Queen would work well together because he can rip her out of combat whilst bleed is still applied to an enemy. Giving her time to heal from that, get healing from Lifeweaver, and then her passive healing kicking in after a few seconds. This combination is going to be great next season, and I think personally I'll be trying this out for myself. It has potential to be very lethal, but that just about does it for this video. Now, obviously this is all a bit of speculation before next season, and the healing stats may be a bit of an overestimation, but it gives us a brief idea as to what Junker Queen's self-healing is going to be like come Season 9. Even if it is slightly less than I estimated, it will still be more than she currently does, and therefore means she'll be even tankier, especially with the right teammates. I personally think we'll see Lifeweaver a lot more because of this change, as his pull allows him to get his teammates out of combat to heal them up. So if this is happening whilst passive healing is also active, he's gonna thrive and players are gonna absolutely love having him on their team. Anyways, thanks for watching. Once again, I'm going to ask you to like this video as it lets me know that you find these videos not only to be helpful, but entertaining. Let me know whether or not you agree with what I said in this video because I love engaging with you guys and knowing what you think. Finally, have a nice day or night if you're watching this at night and make sure to check out my other videos. Not only will I appreciate it, but you might too.